First preview is the Dash, the Kowloon City Handicap, and it's a good field here. Harmony fires on the class drop, draws nicely in 2. Be Ready gets the visor on again. Joyful Win goes up £4 for his last start win, but he does draw barrier 12. Storm Warnings has his first start for David Hall. Jinson has the blinkers on for the first time. Special M is on a 7-day backup. Heart Conquered's been back to the trials. Gold Marquis has his first race start in Hong Kong, and Sergeant Pepper, the 12, has the cheek pieces off. 1,000 metres, they'll fly along here, Tom. Joyful Win's an interesting one because he is drawn the outside gate, but in a hot form.
He is. He's got gate number 12, but he's shown some really good pace. He was out really fast last start. Sergeant Pepper, who's been a little bit hit and miss in his runs, he should be handy as well. And Wine, Paul, he won earlier on in his career, but he's been a little disappointing since.
Yeah, he's got that early speed and he's got the inside draw, so he just might make it harder for those ones drawn wide, and particularly Heart Conquered. Now, Heart Conquered could go forward as well. He's another possibility, but I just wonder with all this pace, he might just want to try and sit just in behind it. I think what will happen is Special M and Stoltz, they'll both get really good runs just in behind.
OK, so that's how we expect it to play out over the 1,000 metres. Stoltz, of course, has had one start here in Hong Kong. It was a really good debut. The man that rode him that night, partnering him again this week, Matthew Poon.
Matthew, Stoltz certainly knew his job on debut. That was a really good first up run in Hong Kong.
Yes, I think before the race, I think he trialled quite well, and he raced first up in Hong Kong. He also went very good. So I think he's know the game, and be quite happy his first start. Just a bit unlucky, got beat. So hopefully this time he can perform the same. And
you've galloped him earlier on this week on Monday. How did he feel coming out of that race, Matthew? He
feels sound, and he don't make any mistake in the morning. So I think he know what to do.
And you've got a similar barrier to last time. I think you got 6 this week. You had 5 on debut. Is the plan the same, to ride him the same sort of way?
I think so, but I need to discuss with Francis. But I think he's on pace horse. He need to sit a little bit closer, and the draw definitely help. Yeah. And
just away from him, I must ask you about Flying Ace. You won on him recently. He also won at Happy Valley too. He's now 2 from 2. He's a lovely horse, isn't he, Flying Ace?
Yes, he has some attitude. Like, he's not very a quiet horse, but he learned quick. He come Hong Kong only a few months, and he keep learning, keep improving. So he's still in progress.
That's Matthew Poon. Tom, the horse that beat him, Special M, has come out and had 2 starts since, one at Sha Tin, and then he was placed last time behind the runner in a strong field.
It wasn't a bad effort from him on that occasion at all, Special M. He goes round on the program in the same race. But I think Stoltz, I just wonder about him second up. Sometimes we see these horses after a really good run just bust second up, but his first up run, I thought, had plenty of merit in it.
Yeah, I reckon he's going to be in the right spot. So, look, I'm going to take a chance. Looking at his track work, he seems to have come on from that. And Special M was a really good run as well. So they both go in for me.
With Nick talking about the similar barriers, barrier 5 on debut for Stoltz, barrier 6 this week. Now, we're going to pick up the replay here of the start, Paul. Now, this is Joyful Win. He's been a real finder around Happy Valley. Wide draw this night, wider again. He did show he can do some early work, but just how much extra he has to do this week is the question. Yeah,
and look, Sergeant Pepper's he's drawn wide as well, so I think both of them have got no choice but to kick on. And if one of those ones underneath, like Wine, kick up, or Heart Conquered comes across with them, then he's going to find it very difficult, I thought.
And he just kept on kicking this occasion, didn't he? Joyful Win, good wins his last couple, beat home decisive 12. His form's been a little bit hit and miss. I think jury's a little bit out at the moment on Sergeant Pepper. He's run a good race and then a bad race and then a good race and a bad race. So just not really sure where he fits into this picture at the moment, especially from barrier number 10.
There are his stats, Joyful Win. He's been back to the trials too, and he's had a quiet trial since that last start. He finished behind Hot King Prawn, beaten a length and 3/4 and not pushed along in it. Winner of 4 from 10 around Happy Valley. Here's one you're very keen on, Tom, Harmony Fire. Now, this is a few starts ago. This is his last start in Class 3. He's on the class drop this week.
Yeah, so race 183 when he was second, and this race was, of course, won by Astrologer at a huge price. But look, I think he's going to be really suited back here in grade. If Zach can shoot the rail with him in the straight, or the gaps open up somewhere, Paul in the straight for him, I think he's a good winning chance because he goes really well course and distance. He's good in the grade, and he's been in some awkward barrier draws recently too.
Yeah, he's got a good draw. Look, I've got him in as well. The thing that worries me a little bit about him is just the weight he has to carry. He's got to carry 133.
First starter, Paul, is a Gold Marquis. Now, he has trialled at Happy Valley and probably won his best trial of all of them around the smaller circuit. Went over the 12 and 1400 at Pukekohe, known as Designer Jeans before he arrived.
Yeah, you got a good pair of those, haven't you? £1,080 for him on debut here. He's had the 4 trials. Look, he's picked a hard race to start with. The trial was good enough. I'm just going to watch him in this, but I think he'll come on from it. He could be one to watch coming up in the next coming months.
And he finished off there next to California Sky. It's run well in New Zealand, but I think this is going to be a tough initiation. I just wonder if the 1,000 metres first up might be a little on the sharp side as well.
OK, so he's now with Casper Fownes, formerly with Nigel Tiley in New Zealand. Selections for a quality 1,000 metre race, Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Stoltz. I think Stoltz is going to be in exactly the right position here. It was a good debut run, and listening to Matthew Poon there was a little bit of confidence. So he's on top. Harmony Fire has to carry the weight. Special M comes out of that same Stoltz race and did win it, so he's going well. And California Forest, I just think they'll ride him a little bit quieter here, and if they do, I think he can be running on at the end. So 8, 1, 7 and 5 for me.
Gone with the one here on top, Harmony Fire. I think he can win here, back in grade, course and distance. Zach Pert and Douglas White teaming up. They've only teamed up once this season. It was for a second placing. This horse won off 68 in his most recent win. And course and distance, he's 3 from 10. So on top, Harmony Fire, ahead of Joyful Win, who's one of his main dangers. Special M ran well last start. He's on the back up from last Wednesday night. Probably peaked over the last 100 metres. There was a toss-up between 8 and 9 after that. Heart Conquered, I thought, had trialled well, but I go with Stoltz on a minor line. He was only headed late. 1, 3, 7 and 8.